let's address this. So Corey Perry today put on waivers, and if he's not picked up instantly, contract is going to be terminated for allegedly fraternizing with Connor Bedard's mother.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck are we talking about?
All right. Episode 95.
95.
You smell that, Michael? These are the days that I wish that we had like a little bit of a music intro to roll into. Anybody listening that's musically talented, go ahead and send us a little intro tune. It's episode 95. Everything's coming up, Bob. Everything's coming up, fair enough. Everything's coming. It's just a beautiful Tuesday today in the D, and it's fucking freezing here. Bob in Detroit, Michael in Chicago, Jack in Detroit. It's episode 95, but it feels a little bit more like episode 88 in Detroit today. You know, it really does, because the man that by the time he's done with his career is going to be known as a Detroit legend, Patrick Kane, has returned home and will be playing alongside the cat, Alex DeBrincat. We got a lot to get to today. Michigan OSU playoff scenarios. There's some other weird shit going on inside the Blackhawks organization. We got a Thursday night football gambling corner to talk about. Fair Enough Pod is hot for no reason.
Yeah,
Gut
for
feels.
no reason.
Mike and I aren't going to front you. We're putting these things together with just kind of balls feeling. It's kind of week 11, so maybe it's just like we've been watching a lot of ball. And
it's about time type of situation, too. You lose enough. You got to hit a hot streak to kind of jump back on the schneid, but yeah.
That's what a lot of it feels like, too, is that at some point you can't keep losing. It's statistically impossible. And so
Yeah.
as we've created 3 parlays and we've hit 3. So follow the Instagram and the TikTok for that. But as I said, it's feeling a little bit like episode 88 today. And I just wanted to get all thoughts, all feelings. And I'll talk to you a little bit about what I'm thinking about it after, but floor is yours.
I'm just sad. It's not, the thing is, I'll just say this. I didn't think he was going to come back to the Blackhawks, but it's like, just fucking God, just stay away.
Just go to Buffalo.
Go to Buffalo, stay in New York, go anywhere, like go anywhere on the fucking East Coast where you're home. Like, of all places, like, fuck. And not to be like Detroit, they're not even that good. Like, they're getting better, and like they've showed glimpses. They beat Boston a couple times. Like, they're not bad, but they're not like great. Where it's like you don't have that many years left. You're gonna not go to a team that's like in like actual contention now. It's like it just breaks my heart because I didn't ever think he would leave the Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
And then to see him leave, and then okay, he's hurt, and you're like, oh fuck, that's sad, blah blah blah. You feel for that. Then to see him go to the team that like you want him to go to the absolute least, plus to DeBrincat, is just fucking depressing.
It's a swift kick in the sack.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's like the loyalty. It's hard to find that, like, where you have a guy play for 12, 13 years like he did, or no, it was even more than that. It was 15 years with the Hawks or whatever. Like, it's hard to find that, and you thought he would stay and just kind of stick around, but like he has too much good hockey left to stay with the Hawks. And yeah, I think people are sleeping on him. I don't know why. It's like he was injured, like he didn't play all that well last year because he's hurt. Like, now he's got the surgery. Like, as long as his rehab went well and everything, like, it's hard to beat them hands. Like, he's just good.
And Patrick Kane's not all that well. He scored 21 goals last year, and that's his not all that well.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah, I didn't even realize that. But it's like, yeah, and he's got his guy who, like, other than him and Panarin, like, I've never seen him and DeBrincat together was the best combo of Patrick Kane, other than the 1 year that we had Panarin when, I mean, they were just disgusting together. So it's just tough to see. There's gonna be a lot of goals. I mean, DeBrincat already scores a lot of goals, and when you put fucking 88 between him and the puck, it's just gonna
Yeah.
be more goals for number 12. Or no, what is he, 93 for the Red Wings?
No,
Yeah,
I think he's gonna be 80 or oh, you're talking about DeBrincat?
DeBrincat. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
So yeah,
But, yeah, I think it sounds like Sprong is giving up his 88 to,
he fucking
Kane.
better.
Yeah, I mean, I
Fucking
thought that
first
was
ballot greatest
uh,
American player ever.
I was like, "Why did we even tweet about this?"
Yeah,
Like, no
fucking
shit.
grow up. That's in the
Yeah,
clause.
Sprong just said, "Yep, oh, yep, yes, sir. Yep, here you go."
Yeah.
Yep,
As long
sorry
as I
about
get
that.
my 9 minutes a game, just I'll
Yeah,
give up the number.
yeah, do you need your skate sharpened or anything like that?
Yeah.
Like,
uh,
Patrick Kane's in fucking town. No shit, he gets
yeah.
88.
What
So,
a pickup.
what a pickup, and what it says to me the most more than anything, and DeBrincat's in this boat too, it's that the Red Wings are building something that people wanna be a part of, and I think that's what this signing says the most, because it was down to what it sounds like us in Florida. Well, like you said, why not go to Florida? The two biggest things that Florida had going for it that Detroit did not: income tax and playoff bound for sure.
Yeah.
We don't know what's get like you said, the Wings have won a couple of nice games. They probably shouldn't. 2 against Boston somehow.
Mhm.
Uh, are we like pounding the table, like buying playoff tickets right now? Fuck no. We don't know what this team's gonna look like after January. Like, it could be an absolute mess on the back half.
Mhm.
So for him to come here and say, I want to come either, whether it's play for DeBrincat, I want to, there were some things going around today that he liked the way that Derek Lalonde was kind of talking to him about X's and O's and things like that. Obviously liked Steve Yzerman. So it just gives me hope that, is Patrick Kane going to help the Red Wings win a Stanley Cup? Probably not. Is this a good sign for a player like fucking Trevor Zegras or a guy like that, or an Austin Matthews, or high level players might want to come play in Detroit,
Yeah.
which
It's
you
a
haven't been able to say since 2008.
Yeah, exactly. It's a flashy new toy that it, it it's like when you shine a fucking laser pointer on the wall and a cat goes after it.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, he might not be the cat. He might not be the guy that's gonna fucking get you, but he's definitely
hmm
the laser pointer that's getting you there. You know.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. He is making other people in the league say, "Wait, what the fuck?"
yeah, what's going on?
Yeah. Do I want to go over there? Like, let me talk to Steve.
Yeah,
So I love the signing. Obviously, like, it's kind of weird that I feel like my hatred for Patrick Kane was so short-lived because the Wings weren't very good when the Hawks were very good. It was kind of like a cutoff. Wings were
yeah,
good in
pretty
2009.
much.
That was the last cup run. And then the Hawks won in
Tw-
2010,
yeah,
and they knocked us out of the playoffs that year. And it was like, okay, like it felt like there was a changing of the guard. So I didn't even really have time to hate Patrick Kane, which makes this nicer. Um, because if it was like I fucking hated Patrick Sharp. I don't know why, but I hated that guy. And there's guys like when Mike Modano came here, it was like, fuck Mike Modano. Like, that guy sucks. But it was like, all right, whatever, have him on the team. So this kind of feels more like a Daniel Alfredson, a guy that never really bothered the Wings when they were good. So I'm like, all right, whatever, let's see what happens. But I'm psyched. You bet your sweet ass there's going to be 88 Kane jerseys all over Little Caesars Arena. It's gonna be fucking dope. I can't wait till he touches the ice, which sounds like it might be a couple weeks. So
yeah, he's fun to watch. He's just good, man. He's just, his IQ is nuts. I mean, he's not physical, he just got nasty
plays
mitts.
no
You
defense, which is
And
gonna be a problem.
the thing is though, Bob, is that's not that true. He is a really good back checker. He really he forecheck, okay, whatever. He's a winger, small guy anyway. He's not out on the forecheck all day. But the dude
hmm
comes back hard and he makes plays in the D zone more than you expect. He's not hitting guys. He's not getting in front of pucks, but he's not useless.
That's
And
good.
obviously, you don't see that from like the highlights or even playoff. But like he is a he's a full hockey player, but
Yeah.
obviously offensive guru. So you're not gonna fucking be putting your body on the line. Like you don't need to do that. But he really will. He'll go out there and he'll show you. Like, and especially I guarantee in a new environment, like he's gonna want to win over the Detroit fans, especially because there's gonna be so many Detroit fans that hate him and the Hawks organization already. He's gonna
Mhm.
go out there and play, dude, and he's gonna try and he's gonna bust dick. And you'll be surprised how sufficient his defense is. Not efficient, but not deficient. It's
Yeah.
just there, and
Right.
it's
Right
enough
somewhere in the
to
middle.
yeah, it's enough for you to be like, okay, you know,
That's all
yeah,
I care about.
he'll get a tripping penalty here and there, but it's because of effort, not because of laziness. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So you'll be surprised about the defense too.
I can't wait to see him on the power play. I hope we put together something like a Larkin, DeBrincat, Goss, Despair, Perron, Kane power play unit. That would be fucking sweet. And then seeing, a Kane, DeBrincat, Mo Sider 3-on-3 overtime line. Just putting Kane
Yeah.
and DeBrincat out there and letting them fucking go. I think that'll be sweet too. So
Who do you think they're gonna put in the middle of them two? Prawn? Is he a center? Prawn's a center, right?
yeah, that's what I don't know. Because
Who's their
there's
number
been like,
two?
well, JT Comfer has
Oh,
been
that's
playing
right.
center too, so he's there. Perron's there, and then they've been talking about like Larkin, but I don't think they're gonna switch. Larkin and Raymond have just been playing so well together,
Ah,
and they've always kind of been a pair. They've been switching it up a lot lately, though. So who the fuck knows? We'll see.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
yeah, and then obviously they'll you do things where you start overloading lines when you think it's necessary and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, you got to it's good to have consistency though.
for sure. Well, we got this other hockey thing out there. Should
Yeah,
we
that shit's
address this?
crazy.
Should we
So
address this shit really quick?
let's address this. So Corey Perry today put on waivers, and if he's not picked up, instantly contract is going to be terminated for allegedly fraternizing with Connor Bedard's mother.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck are we talking about? What is he
As
thinking?
of about 42 minutes ago, the Blackhawks put this to bed.
That yeah, supposedly Davidson came
Supposedly,
out. Yeah, I saw
they
that.
either put it to bed or they covered it up. One of the two.
or at least
Uh,
uh or at least they're going to put it so far under wraps that even if it does come out as true that we're all going to forget about it because
yeah,
Perry's
or
going to be
not
off the
believe
team.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I,
What do you think of all this?
as much as I want to believe that he took Bedard's mom up to a hotel room and fucking bent her over the fridge, I don't think that happened.
I
I just
don't
don't
either.
see it happening. I just don't. When would they ever be alone together or in a place where they could sneak off to be alone together?
Yeah, that was my thing. Well, I think they made it seem it was the mom's weekend, which was like 2 weekends ago or something like that or
Yeah,
whatever.
which is okay. Yes, I should have prefaced with that. So it was whatever happened might have happened during the mom's weekend, and that's kind of how this whole rumor got started and got actual gas behind it.
I just don't know like what for one, I mean not that being married with kids means fucking anything, especially to people who are a little bit like above normal people, like when I say that, pro athletes, celebrities, this that and the other thing, politicians, like fidelity or infidelity or whatever you want to say. I don't know what the real word is. It's it's rampant, it runs rampant. They all do this weird shit,
Mm-hmm.
but like Corey Perry, like
Adulterers.
yeah, that he has wife, kids, like they did this thing on him early in the year about how they're like acclimating to Chicago and like how his kids are going to this new school and blah blah. He seems like he seemed like a pretty happily married guy where it's like I don't know, but
And for the casuals, by the way, or anybody that doesn't know who Bedard is, so we're talking about a player
oh
on the Blackhawks, Corey Perry, allegedly had sex with the rookie phenoms on the team, Connor Bedard. He's 18 years old. Allegedly, Corey Perry, a veteran who's probably like, what, 35, had
Has
sex
to be.
with Connor Bedard, the rookie's mom, on a mom's trip. They do this every year with moms and dads. They'll take the moms or dads on a road trip when they go to, like, normally it's Cali or Florida, somewhere nice. They'll just take all the team moms or dads. And it's fucking wild.
I see. I feel like they always. I feel like this one is a little bit different because it's with the mom, but like I feel
Mm-hmm.
like there's always like this like, oh, Patrick Sharp fucked Duncan Keith's wife, uh, and like that was all bullshit, and like
Mm-hmm.
I, I don't know, I don't get where the gas comes from though. Like, how does somebody allege that? You know, like who's the one that's like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna fucking just ruin this whole franchise. It's got to be like some Wings fan who's like, haha, let's get a fucking couple tweets rolling out there, and
Yeah.
boom. I don't get it.
That's what I don't get either. And there were like allegedly like somebody I saw some like text messages floating around on Twitter that didn't look real. Whenever somebody puts out like weird text messages on Twitter, it's always on like WhatsApp. And it's like
Yeah,
these guys aren't fucking using WhatsApp or like whatever weird message board this is. Like nobody's using that. They're either iPhone screenshots or it's not real.
yeah, and also like even you can have iPhone screenshots and put like Connor's mom or Stacy or whatever her name is, and like and that could be bullshit, you know? Like AI can do all this shit anyway. So it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like somebody trying to like dismantle any bit of like traction that the Hawks may potentially gain going forward this year. Um and like their whole rebuild and stuff. Like I don't know. Like it just seems I don't know, it sucks. It's gonna fuck things up though because I think about an 18-year-old kid. Like I know he's mentally tough and he's kind of like a weirdo. How he's like so like hockey, hockey, hockey. He's almost like Gretzky esque with his mentality towards
It's
hockey and
like
how much he
Gretzky
loves
and
it.
Stevie Y 100%. Like we just won't
Yeah,
talk about anything.
and
Just a
like
weirdo.
just loves hockey. You know, just absolutely loves hockey. Doesn't like it's not practice to him. It's like I just want to be like, but like I don't care how mentally tough you are. Having that noodling around up in your fucking head, dude, like that's got to be rough.
Oh,
Like
and every other guy on the ice, the rest of your, I mean, it won't be the rest of your career, but it'll probably be the next couple of years are going to be
yeah,
chirping you about it.
yeah, you would imagine. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. We
Is it
better get it in.
worse? Is it worse to be the kid in school like with the hot mom, or is it worse to be the kid in school that's like uh short or you got like Coke bottle lenses or something like that, you know? I was the
Well,
short kid and it
I was
wasn't
gonna
that
say
bad.
then, yeah, I was a short kid also.
I feel like the hot mom kid got more shit than I did.
I don't know. I mean, I think the hot sister thing might be a little worse because there's
That's
potential
brutal
that
too.
those friends fuck the sister.
Right. The mom is
uh,
a lot less likely. It's unfortunate for Bedard that this had
yeah.
happened.
The mom thing is well, also that's like middle school shit for like early high school. Like this is like okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
this is some
the
grown
mom's
man
in
shit.
play now. Yeah, the mom is in play.
Yeah. Don't
uh
bring her on the trip, dude. It's not worth it.
she's hot. She's not ugly. Um
She's something. When I pulled the photo up, I was like, hey,
for a
I could
mom.
see it. And that's what it had to be for him was like she's a mom, and that's what I think is hot about it, you know? Because I don't know, she just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't necessarily crank the needle, but I mean, it.
Maybe the dad was watching. Maybe it was a cuck
Well,
situation.
that's some shit. Maybe the dad leaked it. I wanted a divorce,
Ooh,
and then he. I don't know. Like,
him and Connor have to be real tight then,
yeah, I don't
because
know.
you're not
Maybe
leaving all that. You're not leaving all that money.
no, absolutely not.
You'll deal
I
with
don't
the
know.
wife.
I don't love it. And it's just kind of like, like the Hawks don't deserve a break. Okay, after all the shit that went down and all the cover up of the shit that all that stuff. They don't deserve any breaks. Let me tell you what. I mean, getting Connor Bedard was absolute blasphemy
That
anyway. Like,
was
I
the
thought
break.
it was, and it almost seemed rigged.
That's why
Um,
Patrick Kane is in Detroit, because you guys got Connor Bedard.
but, like, this is the
That's
thing,
just
though, it's
God.
like, even, like, okay, so once again, the fucking Patrick Sharp banging Duncan Keith's wife. Um, then there was the fucking the Patrick Kane rape shit that all that stuff got dropped because the bitch was like I
Mhm.
shouldn't say this because I'm not pro like hey if you get raped that's if he was a rapist he's a fucking rapist but all the shit got dropped because they had no evidence and then they were
You're
like well
you're just
fuck
saying
we're not
fair trial.
we're not exactly and fucking like, but like, there's always something lingering around the goddamn Blackhawks. I swear.
It's kinda
Um,
weird.
and it's like, what the fuck? Like I said, we don't deserve a break, but it would be nice to just have a fresh start. Everyone's gone. All the bad guys are gone. We got this new fucking shiny toy.
Yep,
Let's let's build something, please.
yep.
So
I get it.
um,
Hey, dog, you're talking to a guy that's been under fire for the last 6 weeks
yeah, no,
with
that's
with
fair.
with my boys down in Ann Arbor, so it's like, you're
Yeah, but at
preaching to
least
the
your
choir
boy
here.
didn't fuck one of the kids' moms.
That's It's unfortunate, though, that it went down that way. Honestly, I kinda wish that would've happened, though, at this point. I mean,
What if
Jesus.
Harbaugh just got after it with one of the moms?
Yeah, if he just pulled an Urban, it's like,
Yeah.
alright, the guy fucked up. He was in the club a little too late. Nothing good happens after midnight,
Yeah,
so
that's
let's
fair.
pull him out of there next time. At least he didn't, send guys to different stadiums to video them. Um, okay. I apologize for your misery, but
Hilarious.
hilarious. And I saw a tweet today that perfectly summed it up. Noted scumbag Corey Perry does scumbag move. Nobody's surprised. And it's like, that is true. Nobody should be surprised because
Yeah.
everybody knew for the last 15 years of his hockey career, the guy is an asshole. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
uh, whatever he did, if it's not this, must have been pretty shitty,
Well,
you
and
know?
that's so I think
Like,
that to wrap
what?
this all up is that what could he have done that caused this type of reaction this swiftly? I mean, it's been a week. Like he was a healthy scratch and they took him off. They benched him or whatever, healthy scratch last week or like 5 games or whatever. And then today, boom, you're off the team. Where it's like it's something serious.
I feel like it's a situation. I don't know why I had this gut feeling right when I was like thinking it through and I was like, that probably didn't happen. What else could have happened? First thing that popped into my head was like he got heated for some reason and maybe like hit a trainer or hit an assistant coach or like actually like physically got on somebody. That was the first thing that came to my head. I don't know why.
Yeah, maybe like yeah, like assaulted someone else in the organization of
Yeah,
some sort.
yeah.
That
Did
could
you
be
have
a
anything like
thing.
that pop into your head or any
No,
first initial reaction?
no, I just kind of like was seeing the shit that we were talking about like in the group chat, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then like I didn't realize that so like I said, it was like a couple games ago, he was a healthy scratch. Then yesterday, the rumors popped up, and then today they dropped his ass. So like I didn't. It was hard to have an initial reaction because there was already something that was in my head, and it was about banging Bedard's mom. So like it
Right.
was hard for me to kind of like revamp what I'm like. Well, what could it have been? Because all I could think about is him fucking bending her over a barrel.
Yeah. I'll read before we get off this, I'll read the Blackhawks official statement that they released today. After an internal investigation, the Chicago Blackhawks have determined that Corey Perry has engaged in conduct that is unacceptable and in violation of both the terms of his standard players contract and the Blackhawks' internal policies intended to promote professional and safe work environments. As such, Corey Perry has been placed on unconditional waivers. In the event Mr. Perry clears waivers, we intend to terminate his contract effective immediately. So the keywords for there and me or in there for me are internal policies intended to promote professional and safe work
Safe.
environments.
Yeah.
What does that mean? You know?
Yeah, that makes sense then. Where it's
hmm
like, yeah, he probably, or it could have been a drug thing.
That'd be
I doubt
interesting
it.
too.
I doubt it was a drug thing, but it could be a drug thing too, like something
Wouldn't
along
be
substance.
that's an NHL problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Always has been.
Yeah, and it's like the Hawks don't need Corey Perry. Granted, it was nice having him out there, like, but like he's not part of the future. It's like so if
No.
he's bringing, some stupid shit like that into our locker room, I think that absolutely is a cause for something like this.
Right. Yeah,
So
that'd be like if Ben Sherratt on the Wings like punched somebody in the face and be like, "Fucking bye, see ya, dude." We don't.
yeah,
We could give two. You were literally a
yeah,
body out there.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. Let's do this. We didn't dive into the game. The game. We didn't dive into the game last week. We were doing the gambling corner thing, and I don't like to talk much the week of the game. Personally, I really don't. I don't like to talk much during the game. That's for damn sure. Like in our group chat and things like that, I don't like
Oh,
talking about it
absolutely not.
because it's just too easy to get fired up. And then the week of doesn't really feel right either. Feels like we're in prep mode. Like this is it. We're here. Let's let the pads do the talking kind of thing. But what a game! Awesome. Kind of lived up to one of those instant classic kind of games. Was it insanely entertaining? No. Was it close? I'd say yeah. I mean, 30-24. That's a good final. There were plenty of points scored in the game. You had some picks here. You had some sacks there. A ton of decisions to go for it on fourth down by both teams. Some big momentum swings. Great game.
I
Great
agree.
game.
Mhm.
The
Definitely.
the difference for me between this year and the previous 2 years was the previous 2 years I was never really worried in the game. It kind of felt like those 21 and 22 were both games that we were literally just kind of walking down the field, scoring, and we weren't really letting them do much on defense. This year, Ohio State was built a lot differently, intentionally to try to beat Michigan. And I think they were on the right path. I don't think that's going to win them a national championship, unfortunately. I think their old way wins them a national championship. But the way that they did it this year was very methodical. They tried to stay on the ground. And when they did stay on the ground, especially in the third quarter to tie it up at 17s, and they had that drive where they had 8 plays in a row at the end where they just punched it down our throats, I was like,
Yeah.
fuck. This feels like the momentum in the air just got completely pulled out of the building at not a great time here in the third quarter. Like, if we don't start picking this shit up, we're going to be in a bad spot. So for that to happen and then Michigan to bounce back was a good sign for me moving forward, as opposed to other years where after we beat Ohio State the last couple of years, I was like, we're probably going to get shit on by Georgia at some point. And last year we didn't even make it to that point. So hopefully this year we get there. But I thought JJ played well, really used his legs. That was great to see. The O-line, when Zach Zinner went down, that was brutal. And I think that
Yeah.
was just another thing that was like, all right, this Michigan team just added another chip on their shoulder. And as shitty as it is to say, like Zach Zinner going down in the fashion that he did was the last thing Ohio State needed. They didn't need
Yeah.
that. They didn't need Michigan to gather another chip on the shoulder. Because what did they do immediately after that? They fucking punched one in. The
Yeah.
first play after, gaping hole. Like the O-line literally was like, all right, this play, no matter what, we're getting in the end zone. And that kind of opened up the rest of the way where it was like, all right, let's put our foot back on their neck and let's end this football game. And that's what they did.
Yeah, I definitely think that drive that tied everything up, I thought was the beginning of the end for Michigan, no doubt.
Me too.
I was like, dude, like I was like, Michigan has let them kind of stick around for too long in this game. I definitely
Mm-hmm.
thought they were outplaying them the entirety of the game up to that point, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, ah, man, like this is not good because if they can step on them like this, I mean, I was like, I don't know how they're going to stop them again. And then they had 3 more drives. They made a punt. let up a touchdown and got an interception to seal the game. I mean, you're gonna let up points to those teams, but like momentum is huge. And I mean, I do agree. At the end of the day, it sucks about that lineman because he's a fucking animal. But I definitely do agree with you that it propelled them to victory in this game, particularly. It might fuck them in the Big Ten championship. Well, not. Let's get real. But in the playoff, it might fuck them.
Yep.
Not having your fucking leader, and prop arguably your best fucking lineman. If
Yep.
not, for sure. But I think your balls on with everything you said. I don't think what you just talked about was inappropriate. I do think that Ohio State needed to get 18 involved a little earlier.
I
Um,
think so too, and
my
just more often.
Yeah,
More often.
like more often. Like I'm not saying force balls, but also force balls. Like you don't have to throw
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison open. Like you just throw him the ball and he's open all the time. Not every play. You need to establish your run and have all that. But like I probably Michigan was like, hey, we're gonna double this guy all day. Obviously, throughout the game, you don't get to see the double coverage until the ball's
Nah.
thrown at a guy. So if the
Right.
ball's not thrown to him, you can't tell if he was doubled a lot. So I'm assuming there was a lot of double coverages, but
Mhm.
um yeah, I think they just game planned that first half so well, and then they said, "Hey, let's weather the storm." It just kind of fucking punch for punch like a heavyweight fight in the second
Yep.
half, and whoever comes out on top comes out on top, and I think that's exactly what they did.
Yep.
So I think your
The
synopsis and your this summary was perfect. What you just said.
the best thing that I took away from that game is that is this team doesn't care what it takes to win. There is not one single person on this team. It's just the team. They're
That's
so fucking resilient in every single way that like they don't care who's getting the ball, like what they have to do to get the win. They just care about winning. They showed that in the Penn State game when they literally didn't throw the ball in the second half. They showed that in the Ohio State game as well, just getting punched in the mouth 10 different times. Will Johnson got hurt, our best corner, possibly one of the best corners in the nation, going to be a first round draft pick, got hurt late in the third quarter, early fourth quarter. And that was the guy we had, kind of shadowing Marv. And he got beat a couple of times, but like, fuck, it's Marv.
yeah.
So when he went down, I was like, damn, dude, like just another guy we did not need going down right here. And they weathered the storm um, and got a couple of big stops. So let's dive into a little bit of a playoff scenario here before we move into the gambling corner.
Okay.
Because I gave earlier what I think the most fun playoff would be. Everybody knows there's a million different ways that this can happen, and a lot of it hinges on that Georgia-Bama game. What I think would be the most fun, and because I hate Georgia, would be Michigan 1, Bama 2, Oregon 3, Texas 4. So that would mean Louisville beats Florida State, because that would have to happen for Texas to get in. Oregon beats Washington. Bama beats Georgia. So one upset. Two upsets.
So
Louisville's a 2-point dog.
okay, so my thing. Okay, I don't think this is possible. I don't think there is a way that Georgia doesn't get in unless they lose by 25 points.
You think they're in no matter what?
I 100%. Not okay, maybe not 100%, but yes, I do. Like I don't. So Texas beat Bama, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fucking Texas already has a loss. Who the fuck they lose to?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, and
Red
they got
River.
stomped out, didn't they?
No, it was close, but they lost.
Okay. And then Oregon's already lost to Washington, so it's like coming back and beating Washington, who's been not that impressive. I just don't get how. I don't see. And so okay, I just don't see a world that we live in where this happens. Because I actually would almost put Ohio State back in over Texas or Oregon.
So Ohio State would have the best strength of record, strength of schedule combo. They have a number 5 strength of record, number 6 strength of schedule. And then Texas has number 6 strength of record, number 13 strength of schedule, and everybody else is kind of far over that, including, I don't know exactly where Georgia is, but Bama's strength of record is 7, strength of schedule 31. So it's, for whatever reason, the SEC's strength of schedule is not being looked upon as favorably as an Ohio State or as a Texas, which makes it interesting to me when, if Georgia loses, and then if Texas wins the Big 12 championship and already beat Bama on the road, I don't see how you could possibly tell them, sorry, fellas, Georgia just looks better than you, so they're in.
Okay, yeah, okay, but I don't necessarily disagree with that. But at what point? God, dude, like what?
It's a mess. That's why I wanted to bring it up, because Bama, Texas, Oregon, Ohio State all have legit arguments, but only a couple of them are going to be winning their conference championship, which is like that 13th win is a
Yeah, I
big
guess.
fucking deal to the committee.
No, I guess you're not wrong. So okay, fair enough. You okay? You might be right if that happens. But if any one of these teams, obviously, if Oregon or Texas loses, but they're favored. They're all favorites.
That's the thing.
Well, okay. Well, what if Florida State wins? How do you
If
bounce Florida State? You need Florida State to lose then.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
Okay.
I understand the argument for bouncing Florida State. You want the
Okay.
4 best teams in. Do I think Michigan would stomp Florida State? Probably. Do I know for a fact Georgia would? Yes. Would Oregon? Fuck yes. So, do I think Florida State is the team that should be in there, like over a Texas, over a Bama, over an Ohio State? No, but I think that if you do that, you're kind of setting a weird precedent.
If Bama beats Georgia, is Bama locked in? If Oregon, Texas, and Florida State win, is Bama still locked in? Because winning the SEC is the most important thing in college football.
Bama's 1,000% locked in. Bama's 1,000% locked in. Bama might be, so say in that scenario, Michigan wins, Bama wins, and then you're saying Oregon and Florida State?
All the favorites win.
It's probably
okay.
Michigan 1, Oregon 2, Bama 3, Florida State 4.
Okay.
Right?
So what if Washington wins, Texas wins, Bama wins, Florida State wins? Does Bama get bounced because you got Florida State undefeated, Washington undefeated,
Michigan
Texas
undefeated,
and Michigan undefeated, and Texas beat Bama?
So you're
and
saying
won their conference.
So you're saying a scenario where Bama lost to Georgia and Texas won the Big 12?
No. Bama beats Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
but Texas beat Bama and won their conference as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then Florida State undefeated won their conference. Washington undefeated won their conference. Michigan undefeated won their conference. So you got Texas and Bama left. Both of them have one loss, won their conference, but Texas beat Bama. Bama's out then, right?
That's the nightmare. That's the nightmare for the committee.
Oh
that's the God. Exact. We've found it. That's what they don't want to happen. If that happens, then yeah, I mean,
the committee needs Florida State to lose so badly.
They need Florida State to lose, and they honestly kind of need Washington to lose.
Kind of. Washington, okay. And
one or the other. One or the other.
Yeah, not both of them, but Washington has been
fraudulent.
No, they've been, dude. All of these, Georgia wasn't beating the fuck out of everyone in the beginning of the year, right? Washington was beating teams pretty badly, pretty good. They beat fucking Oregon. Mm-hmm. And then they stayed resilient the last 4 games of the year, where it's like they relied on their defense to not let up fucking bend, don't break. And they fucking pulled games out. Michael Penix has been bad the last couple of games, but they've still won on the heels of what everyone was talking so much shit about as their defense. So it's like,
true.
They're not as fraudulent. I think they're more a complete team than we think, but I just think If that offense isn't clicking, they're not going to beat any of these teams out left. But like, that's not their fucking problem. They played good teams. They've beat good teams. They've beat everybody. It's like, I don't know if they're as fraudulent as we think. I kind of wouldn't mind seeing them in because if that frisky ass offense does pop off, we might see a fireworks game at fucking, Georgia fucking Washington. That would be, I think that would be a weirdly good game.
I think so too. And Georgia has looked uh beatable.
Susceptible.
They
Yeah, I
like
agree.
last week they beat Georgia Tech by 7 points. I think a lot of people were asleep and not giving two shits about that game.
Yeah, definitely look ahead, but still.
It's definitely a look ahead, but Georgia of the last 2 years doesn't have look aheads.
No, no,
They
no,
just
no,
beat
no.
the
You're right.
fuck out of everybody.
Everybody.
So this makes me think like, okay, maybe Georgia, I think it's kind of overall, it's just a down year in college football as far as talent goes.
Oh, for sure.
And I think Georgia's included in that. Is McConkey disgusting receiver? Yeah. Is Bowers arguably the best player in the league outside of Marv? Yeah. So they got guys. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if it's beat the fuck out of you championship caliber like it was. I think it's kind of going to be like in that scenario that I gave you, Michigan, Bama, Oregon, Texas, flip a coin.
See, I disagree with that.
I don't
I
think
think
Texas could win it, but I think Michigan, Oregon,
I
or Bama could.
I think Bama walks through. I think Bama wins it easy though. If they beat Georgia, I don't think anyone's touching them.
You don't think
And
so?
that's my nightmare personally. Not that I am a giant college football guy, but like to me, like I fucking hate Alabama football. Like I really do. Like they're so frustrating to watch. They're so good all the time. Nick Saban's such a fucking cuckold. Like
He sucks.
I I don't want that. I don't want them to have a fucking chance. I'd rather have Florida State go in and get stomped out like fucking TCU did last year or Cincinnati did the one, like rather
Yeah,
than seeing Alabama fucking backdoor their way in again and fuck around and win this shit. Like I don't know.
couldn't agree more.
And I don't
I
want to
couldn't
see
agree
Ohio
more.
State backdoor their way in either because Ohio State is good and like they fucked around and was one of the only teams that made Georgia look beatable the last 2 years in that game. And it was like, I mean, they were a field goal away from winning it, or whatever it was, a couple yards. So
Well,
um,
Ohio State has gotten to a point where they can literally beat anybody in the country except Michigan.
Michigan, yeah, that's fair.
And Michigan has gotten to the point where they literally can't beat anybody except Ohio State. So it's
Yeah,
kind of funny the way that everything has unraveled. That's why God, it needs to really change this year. We need to get
yeah.
that first playoff win. If we get bounced in the Natty by a good team, I'm fine with that. But
And dude,
we got to win
my
that
thing
first
is
game.
like like for you, I would say you want it to be you want Florida State and fucking Washington in that playoff. No?
Fuck yeah,
Oh, okay, I was gonna say like
absolutely.
yeah, like I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Like these are undefeated football teams. There's no cakewalk, especially if you have to end up going through Georgia at the end of the day. Like I
We
don't give a
match
fuck.
up the best against those two teams.
Yeah,
Specifically Washington, we match up great against. Like that's the team that Michigan, that's what Ohio State used to be. Literally they can score a million points and don't play much defense. Like that's what they used to be, and that's what Michigan was built to beat.
yeah,
If
exactly. And
you
it's like
if you have an O line or a D line that's going to be able to push Michigan around, kind of like a Georgia or a Bama or even an Oregon would, that scares the shit out of me. That's slow,
yeah,
methodical football. And then when you're least expecting it, they beat you over the top for 50. Michigan doesn't
yeah,
have that play. We don't have a
yeah,
beat you over the top for 50.
yeah.
Michigan has to rely on not making mistakes.
Yeah.
Can't make
And
mistakes.
I think the Michigan's biggest problem is just getting there. Like they haven't gotten there. It's like if you
hmm
get there, that means so much. You know what I mean?
hmm
And they just I think, if you can just have one of those, especially a Florida State team, which in theory, no, Washington hopped them already. But like in theory, what could be what would be maybe Florida State win and then G- Georgia win, Florida State win, and Oregon win, because then you would assume that unless the committee is smart, they'd put Florida State undefeated at 3, Oregon at 4 because they lost one, Bama 1 and Michigan 2, but there's no way they'd put Florida State at 3, right? Like,
I wouldn't
there's
think
no
so.
realm, even if they're
I
undefeated over just because the ACC is not that fucking good
I think they gotta beat the piss out of
out of
Louisville,
Louisville, yeah.
like, really bad.
And, like, show that, hey, even without Travis, they're, like, still a pretty
Yep,
high-powered team and they can make it happen. Yeah, that's fair.
and they are, dude. They are. They got guys everywhere on defense, and then you don't even gotta talk
Yeah,
about Keon
Keon
Coleman and
Cole,
Wilson. Their receivers are
yeah.
disgusting. Like, if they had Jordan
Travis,
Travis, they'd be a
uh,
very legit threat to win this
I
thing.
I agree. I wanted them to win, like, game 3,
Me
I was like,
too.
"This is the squad I want to win it all."
Me too. I was thinking the
Uh,
same thing. At that point, I had no belief in Michigan. So I was like, fuck yeah, let's see Florida State do this thing. You
yeah.
know? Um,
So,
but yeah,
speaking of
it's gonna be a
Michigan,
fun weekend.
this kinda will parlay into our parlay. Uh,
Okay.
I think someone posted. Do you see the point totals for Iowa?
Yeah.
Are we what this is real? Dude, I
This is
think
a real thing. Tell the
they're
people what it is.
so their first half and second half over under in points is point 0.5. Point 0.5. So 1 point. They're saying that there's a good chance that they don't score a single point in the entire game.
Anything is a dub. That's why I said this game, betting wise, is kind of untouchable. Outside of the under, I'm not playing anything else other than the under. I don't trust Michigan to cover big spreads. I sure as fuck don't trust Iowa to
To
score.
score.
So I don't know what's gonna something has to break, and I don't know what it
Yeah.
is.
And I was talking to Chelsea about this the other day. It's like Iowa's got a good defense, but like it's not like their defense is like crazy overwhelming. They got a really easy schedule. They've lost a few games, like so they're not like
No.
crazy overwhelmingly good defensively. So like there
There'd be
is still a
guys you've
chance.
heard about if they had that kind of defense.
Exactly. It's just mostly bad offense that they have and force because they're playing shitty teams and they have a fucking fat fuck playing quarterback.
Mhm.
Like, so it's like that, like you said, like you don't know if Michigan can fuck around and go score 45 points on them, but
Yep.
also you just never know because of you know the numbers show that the under hits all the time. It's like it's weird, man.
They were
It's
talking
crazy.
about it on the Valeni show today. And they made a great point. They said Iowa in the Big Ten West, everybody else in the Big Ten West is just Iowa. They just haven't figured out how to win games yet. Everybody in the Big Ten West is the exact same. Nobody can play any offense. They all have decent defenses. Nobody has just figured out how to win a game yet outside of Iowa because Kirk Ferentz has been there since literally fucking pterodactyls were helping bring the scaffolding into the stadium.
So if Shea Patterson's alive, does Iowa have a chance to beat Michigan in reality?
You mean McNamara?
I mean, yeah,
No.
yeah, McNamara, not Shea Patterson. Jesus,
No.
yeah,
Even with McNamara, and you know what one of the funniest stat of the Iowa team is this year?
no.
Eric All, he was the tight end for Michigan. He transferred to Iowa. He's the leading receiver right now. He hasn't played since October 14th. He's still the leading receiver.
Oh my goodness, dude.
A month and a half has passed. And he's
That
still
is
the leading receiver
crazy.
at a cool
Damn.
299 yards.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
That is insane.
I don't know if the DBs like as Mike Sanders and Will Johnson even making the trip. Don't even bring those guys. Let the walk-ons play DB. Iowa ain't throwing it. Like, let's
Yeah,
not get
that's
anybody hurt in this thing, you know?
yeah, seriously. That's
So that's where
hilarious,
I'm at.
man.
But yeah, that's gonna be a I don't know if the Fair Enough Pod is gonna be posting any bets for the Michigan game this week.
Shit, I don't think we're gonna be posting any bets for any college football this week. This slate
No.
is weird and gonna be tough to predict.
Yep. But the boys are riding hot in the league because we protect the shield. Goodell should send us checks for
Yeah,
what we're doing on these NFL bets. And we're going to keep it up. We're going to put one together tonight. So here's where we're at. We've been talking about this a little bit today. But we wanted to kind of vet the rest of this out on the podcast. And we are talking Eagles, Seahawks,
My bad.
Cowboys. Seahawks, Cowboys. Thursday night football. We're going to stay in the primetime games because we did well on Thursday in those primetime games. And then what
Friday.
was the last one?
It was Friday and then Monday.
Friday, you hit one, and then Monday, we hit one. Okay.
Yeah.
Monday night. Yeah, last night. So this is where we're at. Let me tell you the legs that we like the most. We like Tony Pollard, alternate, 50-plus rushing yards. We like the Cowboys' money line. Shout out to Cowboys, won us a leg on Thursday for our first parlay that we put together. And then one that we're shaky on but do like is Dak over 24.5 passing completions. What we're trying to do, because it's Tuesday, remind you, we're going to put this out on TikTok on Thursday with the exact numbers. But as of right now, the Dak over 24.5 completions, 50-plus rushing yards for Tony Pollard, and Cowboys' money line is at plus 234. So we'd like to add another leg to this thing. And you were discussing the field goals for this Aubrey guy for the Cowboys, and he's been a stud this year and hasn't missed. But our debate was whether or not the Cowboys are going to be kicking a lot of field goals in this game.
I mean, my thing is the games that they've lost and the one tight game that they've played, I believe he hits the number. It's the bad team. So I mean, they've beat the fuck out of so many bad teams. I mean, they've won 7 games by 20 points, and I think
this isn't a
4 of the
bad team.
No, exactly. And I think they've won the 20-point win. I think 4 of the 7 he's hit. So that it's about 50% there. But when they play, tough games, I mean, the guy hasn't missed. And you would think that Seattle is good enough bend don't break type of team and defense to maybe, get to that number, and hopefully maybe like Dallas at the end of the half or something, that you get a 50-yarder to sneak one in, and then you just need one other one. I like it, but I don't. Fucking, it's tough because he's gone 2 in a row without hitting that number. I'm pretty sure, just because they've been beating the fuck out of teams.
Yeah,
What
and
do you
how?
think?
Well, it's like a gut feeling again, and maybe this is going back on our Cowboys money line, but like, is this one they drop? I know they're a fucking 9-point favorite, man, but like they've been beating the shit out of teams, and the Cowboys cowboy at some point. That's what people on the TikTok comments were saying when we played that -11 Cowboys on Thursday. But you and I just had a feeling the Cowboys beat bad teams. That's what we have been seeing.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are going to cowboy eventually, like everybody said in the comments. Cowboys can't do it on Turkey Day. Cowboys, blah, blah, blah. They're going to do their cowboy thing at some point. Is this the game where they do it and they fucking blow this thing at home? Or does home make that big of a difference for them?
I mean, I think home does make a pretty big difference for them, but
I think so too. You know what I wish we had?
what?
I wish we had just Brandon Aubrey points.
There is one for 7.5 though. So that's 2 field goals and 2 extra points, or fucking 1 field goal and 5 extra points. That's kind of steep.
Yeah, so if we were gonna do that, we'd rather just go the over 1.5 field goals.
Yeah. My thing is, dude, I mean, he hasn't 1, 2, 4 games out of 11. He hasn't hit this, so he's what is that? 7-4.
What's 7 divided by 4, Jack?
No, that's
63%.
7 divided by 11. Whatever. Yeah, but either way, like he hits it a lot. Seattle, the thing about Seattle is that, like, yeah, they're a decent team, but like they also just drop one to the Rams. They got their ass beat by the 49ers. They dropped one of the Rams. They beat the Commanders by 3 points only. They got shit on by the Ravens. They're playing bad ball. Um, so for that money line situation, at least, I'm not talking about the kicker. I think that right now the Cowboys are playing too good, and I don't think they're going to cowboy right now.
I
Personally.
got kind of a fun idea.
All right, what do you think?
Let's keep the legs that we like. Tony Pollard 50 plus rushing, Dak 24.5 completions, Cowboys money line. And let's post this TikTok and let the people decide. We'll post 3 options. We can either do one that we've been bouncing back and forth on, Tony Pollard touchdown, or we can do Brandon Aubrey over 1.5 field goals. And then let's find one more that we can throw in there and say, all right, these are the 3 that the people get to choose from. Whatever they decide, that's what we'll roll with.
Okay. Mind you, too, so Tony Pollard's line is like 60 yards, so we're not teasing it down that much. We're not here to give you guys ladder challenge type plays where we're making a 6-leg parlay to make even money. We're not professional gamblers. We're playing with our heart here. So risk your money, responsibly, but also at your own risk. And we're looking to have winners here. I think we're up in 3 bets, 15 units, which is a shit ton and is very unsustainable. But, we're here to make a 300 or plus 300 plus 400 leg parlay that is actually going to be fun to sweat out and actually make some fucking money on it,
Yep. And
so
there's
I just
a
want
little
disclosure.
Yeah, and there's not no research put into these.
No, we're not.
There's some, but the gut's been working. That Cowboys minus 11 pick that first week. That was just me and Mike saying we don't think the Cowboys lose this game. We think they're blowing them
beat
out.
bad teams by a lot. It is what it is.
So what should we do for this third leg?
Okay.
The guy that keeps screaming at me is Brandon Cooks.
So I like, this is just me personally on a something like this, is that how many guys on one team are going to be able to come through for you. That's why I don't necessarily love going all Cowboys. So I don't hate the thought of getting some like DK Metcalf receptions in or something along those lines.
I love that. Let's look at either JSN or DK. Because if we're right and the Cowboys win this game, the Seahawks are going to have to throw the ball to keep up.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
So what do we got? DK receptions is set at 4.5.
And I just want to say that the DK receptions thing kind of jumps out for me, not because of him hitting this line a lot, but because 9 targets, 12 targets, 4 targets, 14 targets, 9 targets. The guy gets the ball thrown his fucking way a lot. So, maybe this is one where we can, if you have an alternate line you're playing on FanDuel or something where you can get them at like 3.5 and just get 4 grabs. I feel like that would be an absolute lock. I don't hate it at 5 either, though.
I don't hate it at 4.5 either. I really don't. I like that one a lot. And they're gonna have to rely on him. I mean, who do the Cowboys got? They got Bland, and then they got Stephon Gilmore playing corner. But the Seahawks got weapons, man. They got Lockett. They low-key have a really nice receiver room. Lockett, 100%. Metcalf, and JSN. So, yeah, I think we throw that one as the fourth option. So we're gonna do, or the third option. So we're gonna do either a Tony Pollard touchdown, DK over 4.5 receptions, or Brandon Aubrey over 1.5 field goals made. We'll create the TikTok right now, post it, and then we will post the final TikTok with the final bet on Thursday before the game. Sound like a plan?
I mean, shit. At the end of the day, I might play all 3 of them. I'm not even.
I mean, that's what I'm doing too. Come on, I'm just gonna play all 3 of the alternates together in a separate parlay. Okay. All right. thanks for everybody for riding with us. This has been a fun few days where we get to pretend that we're real sports gamblers. Like I said in that last TikTok, we do it every day. We just don't do it professionally, I guess. And
Yeah,
this is,
exactly.
this is always going to be more of a food and science podcast than it is a sports gambling podcast. But hey, if we need to start posting gambling TikToks, we'll do it because it's been a blast to ride with everybody.
Yeah,
So.
and we can differentiate the pod from the this. Like if we want to fuck around and you guys want to hear what we think, it we can do that. It takes 2
We'll do
minutes to
some
make a
lines.
TikTok. Yeah, and still have our normal food and science podcast for the boys, and then we'll get.
Yep.
Actually, I got one last thing that we have to talk about because it's been
Okay.
2 weeks now. Jack, how's the new place, brother?
Oh yeah, how's the setup?
How is the laundry
Setup's
situation?
fly, man. Dude, I've done so much fucking laundry. It's incredible. I just do it for fun now. I'll just throw something in it. Sometimes I don't even fill it up. I just turn it on.
Yep. Just let her run.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
Just let it run, baby. No, it's sick. I fucking love being here, bro. Rochester is elite in a lot of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's sick. New setup is dope. I finally got this room padded up, so I'm not all echoey.
Just really sick. I'm so jealous of that.
Yeah, oh yeah. The little stew here is pretty dope. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, good.
It's
We'll
been
get
good.
into that a little more next week, but I really wanted you at least to speak on it this week because it's been 2
Yep.
full weeks and we needed to get a little update from the old JB.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next week we got the draft. I don't know what we're drafting yet, but we'll do that. I wrote something down. This happened to me today. I have a problem with people that don't understand what a backup camera is, but we'll talk about that next week because it fucking pissed me off today.
Yep.
But all right, everybody. That was episode 95 / episode 88. Shout out to the Savior. Wings to the cup. And we will see you guys on TikTok on Thursday at Fair Enough Pod on TikTok. See you there.
Fair enough, Pod
Love
1.
You. Oh, Fair Enough Pod 1. Peace.
Bye.